Alright guys, so in this live stream I'm gonna react to a video titled Man Enough Rules of Modern Dating and Understanding Women. It's complicated channel, so I have put the link in the description box. You can check it out if you want the uninterrupted version. So yeah, and if you want to see my reaction, stay over here and we'll see what we have got here to react to. So without further ado, let's begin reacting to this video.
Can you name some controversial women's issues?
Controversial women's issues. Abortion. Oh, that's a good one. Are we
Yeah, that's a
allowed to
good
talk
one.
about that?
Yeah, I mean,
Of course we are. Oh, well, I don't know. Like, name all of them.
Can you just name a few controversial women's issues?
Abortion. The wage gap. The
wage gap.
Honestly,
sexual assault. Me too.
the Madonna horror complex.
I don't know what is that, but yeah, there is a lot of controversy regarding wage gap, and the main reason could be, like Jordan Peterson explained, is that women are more agreeable. Second, it's not in order, but I'm saying it, what Jordan Peterson has said. So women are more agreeable. Women tend to choose certain kinds of job that pays you less and less riskier job. So you have to understand that as well. So if you are taking a risk, like you may die in a work or like construction, so if you fall from the skyscraper, then you may die, right? So yeah, those are like risky job, but they tend to pay more than a restaurant job. And if you go to a restaurant, then you will see that a lot of women are working over there, and restaurant have a tendency to pay you less, like any worker, so man or women, like they will pay you the least. So yeah.
Can you name any men's issues?
Oh, men's issues. They need to treat women better. Erectile dysfunction.
Bruh, like they're talking about two struggles, like okay, like they're talking about struggles, right? So they have issues, for example, okay, they have mentioned it, okay, I'm not complaining about it, like okay, pay gap, okay, let's say I agree with that. Let's say okay, I haven't agreed with their point yet. I haven't made any clear statement that okay, whether or not I agree with that statement. So yeah, like you could have said something that is more related to the current situation that men are in currently. So they could have said that we have mental health issues, for example, suicide rate is going up and up. So yeah. And many more, like mental health issues are really complicated for men, because the main reason is that we are told be in touch with your emotions. And the fact is that if I'm in touch with my emotions when I am getting treated like a trash by women, I will be so emotional that I may think of hurting myself, right? And you are telling me that okay, you can be in touch with your emotions, but that's not the case, because when you are in touch with your emotions, women will treat you like a trash, and then you will feel really emotional. You may start thinking in a way that will hurt yourself in the future. So yeah, but women, like when it comes to women, like if they're emotional, in touch with it, their emotion, will never criticize them. We will never criticize them. Keep that in mind. We will never criticize them most of the time, because we are really sensitive about like hurting their emotion, their feeling. Like we never say that. We never call out them when they're unhealthy, like eating Doritos all day. Oh, you are unhealthy. Oh, you are doing this. No, we cannot say that. Like once I said that, like there was a moment, I think like 3 years ago, when I said to a woman like, hey, you're fat. I mean, I didn't say that you were fat, I said you were chubby. So she was like, F you, get the F out here and stuff like that. I remember that moment, like how she was reacting to it, and she had tears in her eyes, like, oh, how could you say I'm chubby, I'm fit, I'm this, I'm that, I'm healthy, and stuff like that. So it was really hard to, like, for me to digress, like what is really going on. Like I have told you the truth, but at that moment I used to be much more honest than now, because I just or right now I do not lie, I do not try to lie, but what I try to do is that I try to avoid telling them the truth. Like, okay, like even if I see that this is unhealthy, eating Doritos is unhealthy, watching Netflix 12 hours a day is unhealthy behavior, I do not say them, I do not call them out. But when a man does it, I'm gonna call them out, like, hey, this is a trashy behavior, you gotta behave yourself, you gotta put some muscle in your body, you gotta do certain things that will make you a man. So yeah, like I call them out, but I do not call out women, because it is what it is. Like you cannot call them out, because
Okay. But I mean, like, can you name any, like, men's struggles?
Oh,
now they're getting on the point, like you have to be really specific. Like they don't understand the situation. We are talking about your struggles, so your issues, like your women issues, and then when I'm talking about men's issues, like no, erectile dysfunction, oh, they're trash, like stuff like that. What?
mental health. Yeah, mental health. That's definitely. Actually, men commit rates. They actually commit suicide most. More, yeah. Women attempt more.
And also they were laughing at that, like erectile dysfunction. Like when somebody has certain kinds of problem, like why you are laughing at them? It doesn't make sense.
But men are more successful.
And can you name any men's issues?
Yeah, like toxic masculinity.
What the heck? Like they're talking about struggles and stuff like that, and you were talking about toxic masculinity.
Just honestly, the patriarchy affects everyone. So like,
Why do you think men...
Seriously, bruh? Like, come on. You know that pretty well, that what is really going on. And right now you were just telling us that, oh, it's toxic masculinity. How you define toxic masculinity? Oh, you would be like this. Like if I ever ask a girl define toxic masculinity, they cannot do it, because they're not in a position where they can explain it, because it's just a made-up term. It's just a made-up term that we do not use frequently. And also there are certain things like, okay, a man, like, oh, a man who treated like her trash, like recreational use only at that moment, like they were in that situation, so that's why they are like, oh, men are trash, men are toxic. Oh, like what they do usually. Because listen, what I'm saying here is that when you dress in a certain way, when you dress sexually, when you are sexually provocative when it comes to dressing, you are constantly inviting certain groups of people who are into who are into hookup culture. Okay, so what they will do is that they will like, you think you usually conflate these two, like hookup culture and relationship. No, like you are, when you are dressing in a sexually provocative way, then you are gonna meet those guys and they're gonna use you as a recreational use only. Okay, and they will never give you the relationship. So yeah, if you want the relationship, dress modestly, be a productive person, do certain things that will make you more feminine, and it will allow you to find the best husband if you're looking for a relationship, long-term relationship. So yeah, but if you're looking for, oh, I'm empowered, I can do whatever I feel like, when you tell them I'm into fun, that's not, I'm talking about, I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about certain groups of men. Oh, I'm into fun, they will say, oh, I'm also into fun. Oh yeah, let's have some fun, let's have alcohol. And then the next day you sleep with him and then the guy is gone. Like, that's how it is. most guys who are into a long-term relationship, they're not going to the club to find a girl. Okay, like if you are going for validation, like, okay, I'm going to the club, I'm gonna get some clout, I'm gonna post something on the Instagram and I'll get some followers. So yeah, like if you're doing that, fine, do it, but just remember you are getting those followers at the cost of your long-term relationship. It will give you long-term problem, but it will come slowly, and that's what you need to understand.
Men's mental health is in crisis.
The stigma behind it, and it's negative.
Yeah, they're afraid to like talk about it. And
how would I talk about it? Like, I'm labeled as toxically masculine, like if I'm talking about my problem.
especially like family just like kind of shames that sometimes.
Why are men typically the ones blamed for inflating a woman's ego?
Because most guys love to tell women how beautiful they are.
Weren't men groomed to be that way?
Men are groomed to be no, I don't think so. I think men were groomed to be more into chivalry, and they were supposed to be much more respectful towards women. But right now, what is happening in modern dating is that they will try to like go down to a level where they will allow themselves to be at the bottom, and they will raise the women to a higher level even though they're on the same level. Let's say a man is like 4 and the girl is like 4, but what girl usually, like, women are into hypergamy, right? So what they will try to find is that whether or not somebody is 5 or 6 or 7, like at a level, okay, that's like a attraction level. Okay, so they will find the person who is higher than them mostly. So this 4, like this guy will try to like convince her, who is also a 4, in terms of attraction and stuff like that. So what this guy will do is that they will say, hey, you are a queen, you are beautiful, you are the most beautiful person in the world. So even if she is a 4, she will think that, oh, I'm 6, I shouldn't be dating this guy is a 4. Now most of the time, like usually they can understand that this guy is a 4, but they do not understand that they are all this women is also 4. I mean, I'm talking about a particular percentage of women who are 4. So in terms of attraction, on a scale of 1 to 10, so what happens here is that this guy is just trying to like pump her up to a level where she doesn't belong to. So what happens here is that she is dating somebody who is like 7 or 8 or 9, 10. So what happens is that the guy who is in 7 or 8 level, he understands that she is a 4, so I'm gonna just use her for sex. So yeah, that's the case. And when it happens, they will be like, oh, the men are trash, men are using me, men are abusing me, and stuff like that. So
Yes, and to respect women ever since we're little, for sure.
I don't know. But
yeah, like respecting women is a different thing, but pumping her up is not a good thing.
do that, they inflate their own ego. Right, but I mean, what about simps? Simps are blamed for inflating a woman's ego, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just degrading the value of the man, is what it does.
Weren't men groomed to be that way?
I hate to say
No.
it. Yes, they were groomed to be simps.
No, we are going to be much more respectful towards women, and we were taught to have traditional value where women are taught to have more like modern value, which are like, oh, you can sleep with however many men you like. So this kind of stuff is hurting.
We're supposed to come in and just, what goes on, just conform with the household, go out, work, bring it all in, and we are supposed to treat a lady with respect. But no, we're not groomed to be, lower ourselves for something else. Because if I lower myself to come to your level, I can't help you get to my level.
Are women equally guilty for demoralizing men and their ego?
Absolutely. Women choose. Women are choosers.
Are women equally guilty for demoralizing men and their ego?
Yes, they are. Because, you know, women just get, like I said, they can easily go on some kind of social media and just post a picture of themselves and expect the man to go ahead and give her everything she needs because she's wearing makeup, basically. And, you know, that's not how it should be. It should be an even playing field for the both of us.
Aren't women raised to be spoiled as princesses?
Women are raised. Women are coddled. They absolutely are, yeah.
So if so, why isn't that given any attention?
Well, because it's a woman world. Yeah, it's everything, you know, rules around women. It's whatever the woman says, that's what the man's going to do.
I mean, I got a kid too, so I'm guilty of this. So, I don't know. It's just, I think it's something innate in us biologically. We just want to build,
Yep.
protect, and
Provide
our little girls
security.
are somebody we can protect. I mean, obviously, since the moment they're born.
Do you find it hypocritical when parents advise their sons to avoid gold diggers while also advising their daughters to find a man who will take care of them?
It's very complicated.
It's hypocritical, but it's the way of the world. Doggy dog world, baby.
Are men no longer providing because women don't want to submit, or are women no longer submitting because men don't want to provide?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm so glad that you asked that. I think it is because women don't want to submit because of, you know, sometimes the guy's not worth it. A woman will submit if the guy is, if she feels safe, if she feels secure, if he treats her right and respectful. So yeah, we will. It's almost, it's automatic. You don't even have to say it. A woman will submit.
A man is put on this world to take care of the woman. So a man is that, like, you know what I'm saying? That's what a woman's supposed to look for. A man that's able to take care of them. And a man is, I don't think that's a question for a man. You know what I'm saying?
So what were women put on this planet for?
To produce, to nurture. Hello.
So then why are so many women encouraged and raised to be independent rather than nurturing?
A lot of women were raised without fathers. So how could you know how to be a woman to a man if you didn't have a dad?
Well, right, but a lot of men were raised without fathers, so how could a man know how to be a leader and a provider to a woman if he didn't have a man teaching him that masculine role?
I guess that's just something we all got to figure out together.
What?
That's why I tell people that, okay, if you have a son, give that son to your husband, like, because otherwise that person will never be like a man, and yeah, will be emotional, and he is gonna do the same thing to another woman. So yeah, like, you cannot raise a son, I'm sorry to say that, but you cannot raise a son to be a man, to become a man in the future. There will be a boy in the future, but they will never be man to some level, like if they do not get those kind of advice from real men. So yeah, they need a real man, real father figure. So yeah, a lot of the time that's why they go astray, because they will follow some rappers, they will follow some drug addicts, like, oh, maybe he is the real man, so he is the real G. So yeah, that's a big problem, because when you have mother, like, they can nurture you, they can take care of you in a certain way, but the overall thing that builds a man is not there. It's not there. Like, he will understand certain things, but he will never understand what is stoicism, what is man supposed to do in this world. So yeah, there is a lot of problem when it comes to, like, understanding male nature. And I will tell you one more time, don't try to, like, raise them to become an emotional person, because when it is hurting, how do you say it, so when you are, like, trying to raise them emotional, they will never understand what it means to have certain responsibilities and how they're supposed to act.
Why are men expected to have a healthy perception of themselves, aka confidence, while people continue to blame men?
Now obviously there are some women who can raise a son, and they can become a real man, but in most cases we see that they're failing, because you know the deal, like, they do not understand what it feels like to be a man, what it means to take responsibility, because a lot of women can go easy, like, their life is easy. So when you are on easy mode, you will never understand what it feels like to be on hard mode. And that's why when you raise a son as a single mom, it becomes really tough for them to understand what it is all about when it comes to, like, hard mode.
women's inflated ego?
It falls under the social norm, I believe. Once it's just my personal opinion. We're meant to hold that certain status. We're meant to be strong, you know, be a guy. We have to have confidence as men. We're king of the jungle, man. We're the most dangerous species on this earth. If we wasn't, it wouldn't look like this, you know. So as a man,
Yeah, like our grape strength lowered significantly within a couple of decades.
we have to have absolute confidence in ourselves.
I think it really starts at the gym with other guys. We compete with each other, so we have to always appear strong. But yeah, you're right. We always seem to always put a little weakness when it comes down to the woman. We'll be strong for other dudes, but girls, we always try to, I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, why are men expected to have a healthy perception of themselves, but we don't hold women to a standard of having a healthy perception of them? In other words, we expect men to have confidence, but we don't expect women to be humble.
I think, okay, so this is a good question. I think it's because it comes down to the ego. Women do not have as much ego, so they're not required for all of that, you know, to be humble, to be all these different things. We only really require them. We as men require them to just look good and just come along.
Good look, have a financial status and stuff like that.
For the most part.
Why do women often attack a man's masculinity when they don't get what they want?
Oh, that's a good question. Why do we attack masculinity?
Because women run the world.
Masculinity.
Women run the world, and patriarchy hurts women.
As in,
like you don't lift enough, like you're not manly enough.
I'm quoting them, okay? I didn't say that.
You're not a man.
I didn't know they did that. Personally, I like a feminine man.
Feminine man, okay, but the real problem is that even if you get married to that person, you are gonna initiate divorce. And congratulations if you are able to live with a feminine man, which is very rare.
But I think if a woman goes for that, it's just because throughout history, that's like the biggest defining factor of like what a man is like they're a manly man.
The easiest hit.
Isn't that hitting below the belt?
Hitting below the belt? What do you mean?
To
by that? Sorry.
attack someone's masculinity.
Yeah.
Is it any wonder why men's mental health is in crisis?
Absolutely, yes, because, you know, women believe that just because they throw on some makeup and look pretty, that they can get any man. And this is really taking advantage of the man. And, you know, because you might not be a good-looking guy, that you might not have all this money, you might not have all this stuff, then that's putting you in a status where you basically get ignored by a lot of women, which is a terrible thing for a lot of men today.
It is often said life isn't fair. Who is more likely to be expected to accept injustice?
Oh, I was reading an article the other day. By 2030, 50% of the Western women will won't have relationship. 50% of them, and a lot of men will move to overseas because they're unable to fulfill the need of a woman. Like a woman wants somebody who is making over $100,000 and who is 6 feet tall. So there is like 15% of men over here is over 6 feet tall or 6 feet at least. So how they're gonna find a woman if all the women are interested in that? So when they're unable to fulfill their need, they don't have a choice but to move overseas and to go to East, like Japan, go to Philippines, go to Korea and other countries like that, because we are unable to. Like, can I change my height like that? Can I change my height? No. So yeah, this will be a big deal for them when they will be like, oh, only 50% men are getting into relationships. So yeah, that will be a big deal.
Is men or women?
Women.
If it's not men, why do we have the expression "take it like a man"?
You're good. Because men are supposed to have this strong front, you know. So
Does a man have the right to define what a woman is?
absolutely not.
So then, what gives women the right to define what a man is?
We don't.
But did you just say a man's supposed to be this and a
I
man's
said
supposed to be that?
supposed to. Yeah.
Is that not defining what a man is?
Well, somewhat, but not just clearly.
Gotcha.
If it's not men, why do we have the expression "take it like a man"?
Well, I never heard take it like a woman.
So then, would the answer be men?
It would be men.
We talk about things. A lot of times men don't. They don't like to tell us their problems. They don't, they shut down easily. You know, most women, they'll talk about things and issues, but a lot of times men are silent, so they kind of withhold.
But do you think that men often withhold their feelings because when they express their feelings, it's often shamed and made fun of?
No.
Oh my god. Like, you gotta be kidding me. You were making some good points, and right now you just completely BS your argument that you made earlier. So, I gotta say, this is a big deal. This is a big deal for most of us. Like, when we tell women, like, hey, this is how I feel, I'm unable to take this situation in the right direction, can you help me, I'm crying, and then what they will do, oh, I'm gonna leave you right now, I don't feel attracted to you, you're not responsible for certain things that you are doing in your life, and stuff like that will help, will will influence them to make the decision that, okay, you can leave a man at any time you want. So that's the thing.
I think from growing up, they always say, well, men, you're not supposed to cry. You know, take it like a man. So they have to build this persona.
Is it any wonder why men's mental health is in crisis?
Yes, because as soon as a man opens up to a woman and tells them like their deepest, darkest secrets, women tend to use that against men. And
yeah, I've seen it. Never do it, guys.
I don't know why. I'm a woman and I don't know why.
What is the difference between sexism and racism?
Sexism and racism, there is no difference. But one is discrimination of color, and one is discrimination of sex.
What's the difference between telling a black man you're not black enough and telling a man you're not man enough?
Oh
that's
my
a good one.
god, that's a good one.
Telling a black man he's not black enough can be...
Hit the goddamn video, guys. Hit the like button.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's the same thing. I've been told that my whole life. Man, I went to two. I've been in the hood. I've been in the suburbs. In the suburbs, they say you're white. In the hood, they say you're black. Or other way around, actually. I'm sorry. You're not white enough. You're not black enough.
And black enough, as you can see, I make racism look stupid. I'm two different colors. So to me, it's just to me, that's a funny question. Literally, like, it makes me laugh because how can you ask someone who's lighter than a white guy about someone who's black? You know, it's just an interesting concept. But like I said, I think that just relates. It goes back to the racism being a system and how people are used to or falling victim to that system.
In my book, that's equal, man.
So why is it okay for women to be sexist but not racist?
It's definitely not okay for them to be sexist.
Why is non-blatant racism often exaggerated while blatant sexism is often ignored and made fun of?
Because, like I said, it goes back to the thing where women are always coddled. You know, if a man came out there, was, you know, start crying and all this other shit, of course we're going to get ridiculed. Like, you can't do that as a man. You have a masculinity figure to show, and a female can absolutely do that, but that's not how it should be. Everything should be, you know, on a same playing field, but falls into that.
Guess so.
Why do you think that men's mental health is in crisis?
Because of toxic masculinity.
Yeah, have to be strong and not care about things.
Toxic. Give me a break.
So, you know. Yeah, it's all toxic masculinity. They're taught to not think about stuff, and that if like they're not, men aren't introspective.
They're also not always willing to talk about it though, even if they want to, and that's for some women it can be like connecting, you know, like you like intimacy. Realize that they have like a soft side, and like we're into that sometimes, you know.
Has a man crying ever gotten a woman wet?
Not me. It's not gotten me wet. Like I
know, but it makes me, you know, have a lot of empathy.
What is the difference
You're lying.
between the masculinity that women find attractive versus toxic masculinity?
I think masculinity where you find attractive is where you're not thinking about that actively as a man. When you can like.
I do not think like that. What I do here is that, okay, what a man supposed to do? Okay, man supposed to be strong, the provider, supposed to be responsible for certain things, responsible for the safety of women. So those are the things I think, like he has to take actions on certain occasions. So those are the things I always keep in mind. So yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You're just masculine naturally. Yes, you're not performing. You're not. Masculinity doesn't mean misogyny.
Why are some people willing to accept that life isn't fair while other people want to change the world?
I feel like people that feel like life isn't fair are people who can't acknowledge their own wrongs. I feel like it's those people that's inexperienced with life and just need someone to blame. I read a really interesting book called The Four Agreements. It was about atomic knowledge, and it pretty much talked about how people's negative energy reflects on other people ultimately because of themselves. So I feel like life isn't fair. Life is what you make it, and just make it the best. You know, unfortunately, I grew up all in, you know, I was homeless since I was 3 years old. So for me to have an interview with a guy like you means a lot to me. And for me to never use my adolescence as an excuse,
There is no excuse for man. I'm sorry, man. You gotta do the hard work even if you don't feel like it. Because when you are not doing certain things in your life, you're gonna be on the lower end of the ladder, social ladder. So what happens here is that you cannot just give excuse like, oh, I'm feeling this, I have this feeling and that feeling. No, it's not gonna work in your way. Like you are not gonna be favored by other men like, oh, he is having hard time, I gotta help him out. No, they are not gonna do it. You have to climb up the ladder by yourself, and you have to make sure you are doing the right thing in order to be on the top of the ladder, and that's what will help you on a long run. I definitely admire people who take the responsibility, take actions when it comes to interdynamic sexual relationships. So yeah, I would definitely suggest you to be much more responsible. That's what is my suggestion for men. And for women, like, be much more polite and respect us. Well, a lot of the time I do not get the respect from women. Like, I do certain things that man will appreciate to another level, but a woman doesn't give a f. Like, she will criticize you if you do certain things wrong, but they're really like conservative when it comes to giving a compliment. Like, I just want a simple compliment, I did the hard work, just give me a simple respect. No, they won't respect you for what you do. Like, they will tell you toxic masculinity. Like, if you want to protect, like the other day I made a video where I talked about a girl where she was complaining about, hey, a man, when a man is trying to protect you, it means he is toxically masculine. What the hell? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, if I'm trying to protect you, if I'm trying to help you out from a dangerous situation, how that is toxic? Oh, women can fight as well. Women can fight a violent man. It's okay. You don't have to do that. You don't have to let her out from that situation. If you do that, you're toxic. Like, what the hell? So yeah, like, that's why I'm talking about, like, okay, at least give me the simple respect, like what I do for you. I don't need a huge amount of, like, okay, admiration and stuff like that. No, I just want simple respect. Give me that respect. I will try my best to help you out in your life, and that's what is my life goal. But what is happening here in the West will impact our life significantly. That's why a lot of men, as I told you guys earlier, there is an article where it shows that 50% of men will go overseas to get married or to have a long-term relationship. Like, it will happen very soon by 2030. So yep, watch out for that. Or you can, if you want to prevent it, you have to be much more traditional. I'm suggesting women to do that. And if you don't want to do it, do whatever you feel like. And I'm not gonna say anything to you.
This answers the question. Sometimes we gotta step outside of ourselves, really look at ourselves and what we're in, and play chess.
Why do people insist that things will never change when history has proven that things have already changed?
Ditto with that one, because history, like I said, repeats itself. And even though certain things back in the day has changed, the common denominator is still there.
Why do so many people believe we're living in a male-dominated patriarchy if the standards and selectivity of women is what you believe drives civilization to become better?
Wow. I think it's getting backwards. I think people are forgetting how much men have contributed to the whole society and the world as a whole.
Like, most of the time we build a society. Like, look at the construction worker. Over 90% of them are male, right? And if you go to a city and you say that men are useless, men should be killed, like, what the hell is that? I build the city, I do the construction, and you're living in an apartment. If you're living in this house and you are a woman, you should be grateful for that man who contributed to some extent to build this house, and then you're living in that house peacefully. Like, if men stop working, doing the construction work, where are you gonna live? Where are you gonna find the shelter? Nowhere, because men are very, very respectful towards you and towards your life. Like, hey, we gotta protect women, we gotta let them have a shelter, we gotta let them have we gotta let them live in an apartment and stuff like that. What is happening here is ridiculous.
Women have the rights to basically play those parts like a man, but most of them don't choose to be that, and they like a man actually doing these kind of things.
It's a man's world, man. Women are trying to come up, but they don't want to do the jobs that we do. They don't want to go to war. Some of them do, very selective. They don't want to go to war. They don't want to be down in these sewers cleaning up. They don't want to be building these buildings and stuff like that. I mean, that's something they would rather do. But
like position of power, yeah, we need that. We need equality. We need quotas, even if we are not competent enough to get that job. Like, what is this? Like, if you are competent, okay, I'm all for it. Okay, if there are 100 women, or like let's say 1000 women who are very competent, hire them in the government. Okay, like let them work in the government job or sector, like whatever higher power it is. Like, I don't complain about it. But when it comes to like, oh, more men are competent in this sector and it's a position of power, oh, you gotta have quotas for women, you gotta have 50% quotas for women. Like, what is this? Like, I do not support this kind of activities. Like, what? You are just literally telling man, okay, you don't have to, like, even if you are competent enough to get this job, I'm not gonna give you, because women needs this job. We have to give them quotas, we have to give them free seats even if they're not competent enough. And you guys get it, right? I'm not suggesting that men certain times men are competent at certain jobs and they should get it regardless of what gender they're, and sometimes women are more competent enough to do certain kinds of jobs, for example modeling, they should get it. We don't need like 50% quotas for model, like male model. Oh, we need that, we need 50% male quotas. No, we don't need that. I just want to see meritocracy. I want to see people who are competent enough to get that job are doing the job. That's what I need to see. If men are more competent enough to do construction work, they should do it. If men are competent enough to do bricklayer's job, they should do it. If men are more competent enough to do work in the government or position of power, they should do it. And if women are capable of doing it, go for it. Like all women party. Okay, if 100% of women are competent enough to be a leader of this country, make a all-female party. Why don't you do it? No, I need that man to take the responsibility to build that party, and then I will move into that party. Why don't you build your own party? Like, if you were thinking that men are oppressing women, then why don't you build your own party? Nobody is stopping you from that. Like, if you want, you can immediately create a party, like a political party, and you can do it. Like, what are you complaining about? It doesn't make sense.
That's the truth. If it's not a man's world, then they need to get down in the sewers and go do it.
I was just saying, all this was built to have a woman have a really good time. I mean,
this guy has common sense. He's talking about real shit.
It was just used to be just a building, and a woman said, "Hey, I want to gamble with this."
Like, he's showing up the building that I just talked about it,
I
right?
want to eat here too. I want to dance here too, and they just put everything in there. So yeah, women definitely inspire us to build.
All right, guys. So shout out to Tribo. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and subscribe to his channel. It's complicated channel, and he makes good quality video. He doesn't give opinion quite frequently, so yeah, like you can see, like he's just trying to like make this content so that other people can react to it, because he's not trying to be controversial and he doesn't want to be get cancelled for some reason. So yeah, and hit the like button, share this video with your friends and family. Hopefully I'll catch you guys soon, and join the Discord if you want to send me a particular video that you want me to react to. That will be a great thing to do. And also yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys soon. Love you all. Stay in peace and stay healthy.